What is going on, guys? Here we are. The AFC and NFC championship games are finally here, and it has been one hell of a season. Let me just say that. This isn't the last Knicks picks for the year. We will still have one video next week and the Super Bowl special where one of us will be eating the ghost pepper, but this is the last week where the picks actually matter. And like I said, I've been saying throughout all the playoffs, I'm not updating on the score, but I will say it does all come down to this week. So I am joined one last time for the season by my friend Ben. Ben, it's been a great season. How you doing?
Well, I mean, first off, as a life update, I had my wisdom teeth pulled earlier on Monday this week, so still recovering from that. But no matter what, one thing will still reign true, and that is that at least this season was different. I think that's the word that best describes this season as a whole. It was different. Obviously, we had like games rescheduled, and obviously with the coronavirus and stuff like that. But overall, I think the season, went okay. I don't know about you.
I would say that I'm pleasantly surprised that we managed to get through the entire NFL season. And yes, there were some reschedulings of games, and there were some conflicts in the schedule, and it did create some problems for teams. But overall, the season really didn't go that bad. I mean, it almost kind of felt like a normal season. Obviously, it was different without fans at the games, and I do think that it impacted some games this season, but I don't think I think it was a pretty good season. I feel like it was as normal as we could make it given everything that happened. So I am proud of the NFL for everything that they did this season to get this through.
I will also say one last thing. One thing that I really enjoyed this season is with the NBA, they had the sideline cams. If you remember that during the bubble, I think it was CBS. They had like those close-up really focused shots.
Yeah, they looked like cinematic.
Those are really sick.
I hope
they bring those back next season, regardless, because those were really they had a lot of cool shots. So I think overall, that was really interesting from this. It
almost looks fake in a way too, but
it almost looked. I saw one person was like, "Hey, look, it's Madden." 32. I'm like, haha, you wish, man, we get that good.
So we do move on to the conference championship games. Obviously, only 2 games we have to go through this week to keep the theme going of 12 points per round. Each game is worth 6 points this week. So if you get the game and the score correct, you basically won. That's 11 points. That's insane. And speaking of scores correct, before we actually get into this, one last thing I do want to say about this season as a season recap. I didn't think it would happen. I thought maybe if it did happen this year, it would only happen maybe once. But Ben, for the love of God, you managed to get 3 scores correct this season, which
within 4 weeks,
really helped you.
They were pretty close. It wasn't like a week 1 and a week 8. No, it was the middle of the season when I needed it the most.
And they were at a streak too. It was 3 out of 4 weeks or something that you got it.
Definitely helped me out.
Hopefully you do not get any this week in the conference championships. But we start with the first game that you will see on Sunday. It is the NFC championship game, and it is the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers going up against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, obviously, me and Ben do know the scores. We know which one of us is behind, so we had to talk about who was picking who so that we differed on a pick. And this is the game that we have decided to differ on. I am going with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I am going 31-28 on this game. Obviously, it's going to be a close game. But obviously, these two teams already matched up once this season, and it was a very bad game for Green Bay. They got absolutely demolished by this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. The defense absolutely shut down Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay offense. I think they only ended up scoring 10 points that game. Tom Brady ended up going off. I think he had maybe 4 touchdowns in that game as well. Tampa Bay just rolled all over Green Bay. Now, that was middle of the season. Green Bay was not nearly as hot as they are right now. You could also argue it was just a really bad game. you do have those throughout the season. And for the most part, Green Bay has been the most talented team, or the more talented team between these two throughout the season. But when it comes to the NFC Championship game, whatever happened in the regular season, everything that's happened before this really kind of goes out the door. You just take these two rosters, you match them up against each other, and you make a pick. You just have to go with it because literally anything can happen in this game. For me, it's just historically very, very hard to root against Tom Brady or just to bet against Tom Brady in any simple way. It's his first NFC Championship game. I don't think that's very much different than an AFC Championship game. It's still one goal. You got to beat the team in front of you to get into the Super Bowl. But going up against this Aaron Rodgers team, I do think it's going to be a little different for him. But he has beaten some insane teams in his career, and he has made it to the Super Bowl more times than anybody else in the league. And as far as Green Bay goes, Aaron Rodgers has been an elite quarterback pretty much his entire career, but when it comes to the postseason, he's only managed to make the Super Bowl once. So historically, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady here, but I will go Tom Brady and the Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-28 over the Green Bay Packers this weekend.
Wow.
And moving on to the Super Bowl. And there will be, I believe, the second team ever to host a Super Bowl. Maybe the first. I don't know.
The first.
They might be the first ever in their own stadium to host a Super Bowl. And that, I mean, unfortunately for them, it's in a COVID era, so there won't be that many fans there. So not really going to be like a home field advantage in the Super Bowl, but I'm sure there will be some advantages. So win this game, they will be what we believe the first team to ever host a Super Bowl in their own stadium. So that'll be interesting as well. But Tom Brady, a big chance this weekend.
Yeah, these are, you could argue, I mean, obviously you can't bet against Tom Brady, and obviously, you know, you're differing here with me. I'm picking Green Bay, and I'm picking Green Bay 28-24. I think it's going to be a very close game. Last time they played, it was week 5. You know, Green Bay started off hot. I think they scored they scored the first 10 points, and then they lost 38-10. The Buccaneers just steamrolled past them. Rodgers had his worst game. I think that was I think that game he threw his first interception, then almost threw a pick 6. But Aaron Rodgers since then has, you know, at least, you know, in some people's eyes, you know, become the league MVP, or at least second to behind Patrick Mahomes or anyone else, even though I think it's just Mahomes and Rodgers in all honesty. But that being said, I do have more faith in the Packers only because I don't know. There's just something about Green Bay that, like, I look at their team and how it's constructed, and this is Rodgers' best chance. Like, obviously, you know, you don't bet against Tom Brady, but you don't really bet against Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think you go wrong with either one of these quarterbacks because both of them would. I think I can see both of them win this game very easily. I think if Tom Brady was back in the AFC with New England and like they played in the Super Bowl, it would be the same thing here where like I don't know who I would pick here, but I am picking Green Bay because I just believe more in Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense than the Tampa Bay offense. You know, both teams have a very solid defense. They're both like pretty good. I think they both will do well, but I just have a little more faith in the Packers offense as far as Aaron, like, you know, he doesn't have to throw it to Devonta Adams. He doesn't have to run the ball, give the ball to Aaron Jones. He has more weapons around him, I think, that he can use, even though I think Tampa does have a lot more weapons available for Brady. But I don't know. This is a very good game. I could see it going either way, but no matter what, I still got Green Bay winning this one. And Aaron Rodgers will head to his second, I believe. Yeah, his second Super Bowl with a chance to get his second ring, even though he has a Hall of Fame career. Anyway, both of them have Hall of Fame careers. I don't think it really hurts either of their legacies, no matter the outcome of this game, unless one of them just completely shits the bed. But at the end of the day, Green Bay I have going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, moving on, the AFC Championship game, a very interesting one to say the least. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs looking to go back to the Super Bowl for a second straight year, a chance to defend their title from last year, going up against the Buffalo Bills. Two words that I didn't think I'd ever say in my lifetime. Growing up, watching Buffalo. I have a lot of family members, Buffalo fans, and this is going to be a very big day for them on Sunday. And growing up, I never thought this would happen, but they finally have found themselves a franchise quarterback. They have a great offense, a good defense too, and they've managed to make their way to the AFC Championship game. But I did say it last week. I do think at some point this Cinderella story for Buffalo comes to an end, and it doesn't come to an end with a Super Bowl. I think it ends this week. Now, we've already been informed Patrick Mahomes has gotten the okay. He will play in the AFC Championship game after a scary hit in the divisional round against the Cleveland Browns that left him with a concussion. He did pass concussion protocol, so he has been cleared to play against the Buffalo Bills, and that was the deal breaker for me. I felt if Buffalo had any shot at winning this game, they would have had to have Patrick Mahomes out of this game, the leader of this Kansas City team, but unfortunately that was not the case. So I am picking Kansas City 35-30 over Buffalo. Look, it's been an insane season by Buffalo, and I do think they could very well be here again next year and potentially even win it next year. But I don't think Josh Allen is ready. That's first and foremost. Number two, I don't think their defense is quite to the level of slowing down, because I don't think there's a defense in the NFL that can stop this Kansas City offense on their best day. But if you can manage to slow them down and you have a powerful enough offense to keep up with them, that's your chance at winning. And right now, I don't think Buffalo's defense is good enough to slow Kansas City down on their best day. Now, that being said, I'm saying on their best day for a reason. Kansas City could have a horrible day in the AFC Championship game and just completely get blown out and just negate everything we're saying. But no, for the most part, we assume both teams will come out at their best, playing their best, and at the highest level. So at each team's highest level right now, Kansas City is the better team, but I do think Buffalo has a lot of potential for the future. I do think it's been an insane season, a great season for Buffalo fans. I know a lot of, like I said, a lot of family members who have enjoyed this season and definitely deserved it after all the years of just hard times being Buffalo fan. I get it. But I do think Kansas City moves on to their second consecutive Super Bowl. I actually did call that at the beginning of the year. That was my early season predictions, was that Kansas City would be back-to-back champions. And I don't know if I'm going to pick them next week, or for the Super Bowl, but I am picking them this week to go back to the Super Bowl at a chance to defend their crown. So that means my Super Bowl predictions are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One last time, Kansas City winning this game over Buffalo 35-30.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got Kansas City winning this one. I have them winning 30-27. Now, let's just take a moment. Obviously, throughout this season, I am dubbed the Buffalo hater because I just didn't believe in Josh Allen. I just didn't think he had everything. I honestly thought he was just a glorified Cam Newton with a better arm. Like, they both are very mobile, and he has a amazing arm, by the way, for Josh Allen. He has a cannon for an arm, similar to Patrick Mahomes. They both have probably like 1 and 2 as far as like arm strength in the NFL. But I will say, though, I was very pleasantly surprised with Josh Allen and his growth. Now, obviously, he got a number one target in Stephon Diggs, but that Bills offense is still very good, and I think they're just one piece away on offense and like maybe one piece away on their defense from being like up there with Kansas City. I think they got like, if they just strengthen that offensive line, maybe get another wide receiver or even a tight end, or just on their defense, just get like a pure pass rusher so they can get more of a pass rush than they're already getting, then I think the Bills are set like for years to come. I agree with you 100% there. And Josh Allen, his growth from last year to this season definitely surprised me, and I will take my back on that. Obviously I wasn't high on him, but he's looking like the real deal. He's looking like a franchise quarterback, and I can't deny that. But I also said to Nick before the game, or before we recorded this, and even now, even if Chad Henne was in, I would still put the Chiefs in there. Now, I would be close either way, but I would still pick them because that Chiefs offense is just too explosive. You got Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. You got Travis Kelce at the tight end spot, solid offensive line, and you got speedsters at the wide receiver spot. You got Sammy Watkins, McCole Hartman, and obviously the fastest player in the NFL in Tyreek Hill, who just, he just takes the top off of defense. Obviously with Mahomes, with his arm strength, he can get the ball to Mahomes or to Tyreek Hill easier than Chad Henne, obviously. I'm not saying I'd be confident with Henne, but I still believe in Kansas City, regardless, just because of their offense and their offensive scheme is set around scoring points. I also will make a side note. How Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for Kansas City, hasn't even gotten a head coaching job yet. I mean, Texans are still available. Obviously disgusts me because he deserves a chance with what he's doing with that offense, along with Andy Reid. He deserves a head coaching job. That's the first thing I'm going to say when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, I do still have Kansas City winning this one. It's going to be a very good game. I think both these games are going to be very close. But at the end of the day, I still have Kansas City winning this one. And my Super Bowl will be the State Farm Bowl with Patrick Mahomes playing Aaron Rodgers, the Chiefs playing Green Bay. Once again, my score is Kansas City beating the Buffalo Bills 30-27.
A lot of good matchups that we could possibly have and some of the best quarterbacks in this league. So as we move on to our 2-point conversions, I have something that we haven't done all season with 2-point conversions. It's the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. We got to do something a little bit different. So what I am going to do is there are 4 potentially future Hall of Fame quarterbacks in these conference championship games. Now, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are both definites. Patrick Mahomes, I feel pretty comfortable saying he's definite as well. Josh Allen, stuff could happen, but if he plays to the level that he did this season, the rest of his career, easily a Hall of Famer as well. So we have 4 potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks playing in the conference championship games this season. That means that there has to be at least 1,200 combined passing yards between all 4 quarterbacks. That means that's taking 300 minimum for each quarterback. I'm saying each quarterback at least 300. I mean, that's not my 2-point. It's just 1,200 combined. So if somebody gets 500, that would help a lot. But 1,200 combined passing yards between all 4 quarterbacks this week in the conference championship game for 2 points on to the final total. Our last chance at points, by the way. So every point could potentially count. So that is my 2-point. Ben, I know you're going with all 4 teams. What is your 2-point?
Well, I will at least break the fourth wall. And I knew you were doing. We knew we were doing all 4 teams, but like I thought, like, when you said all 4, like, passing, I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be, like, 1,000. I was like, nah, that's might be too high. And then you said 1,200. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going there. All right. Well, mine is that all 4 quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, all 4 of them will at least minimum throw for over 275 passing yards. And you know what? That's not it. They will also at least have 2 passing touchdowns. That is the minimum that they have to have. So if Aaron Rodgers has 274 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but everyone else has over 300 and 2 touchdowns, I don't get it. But that is the minimum. That's the minimum bar that I'm setting for each quarterback.
I did just 1,200 yards. You did 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Basically 8 touchdowns, yeah. But I want.
And they all have a
minimum. Yeah,
so
but this is a minimum for each
I'll take it. Ben's got a tougher one. So
it can happen.
That is it, guys, for the conference championship and for all picks that matter for points. It's all on the board now. It's all on the table. It just comes down. There's nothing more that me and Ben can do to decide our fate for the Ghost Pepper Challenge. It all comes down to this Sunday. So we will be watching these games very closely, especially watching these quarterbacks for the 2-point conversions, and especially watching that Tampa Bay versus Green Bay game, as that is the one that we differed on, and that is a 6-point swing. And trust me, it is closer than that. It's been a very fun season. Like I said, we do have some postseason awards that we will do next week. Kind of like the midseason awards. I probably won't do as many awards so that it's not quite as long and boring, but we will kind of recap the entire season. And we will also, on top of that, the week after that, we will be our Super Bowl special where we are potentially, I'm going to go ahead and reveal this, we are potentially going to be on a Discord FaceTime call while I record that, so we will have face cams. It'll be my first face cam video. It's not really much of a face reveal because I link my Instagram and all my videos, and you could literally just look at my face there. But and I'm pretty sure everyone who's subscribed to me at this moment knows what I look like. But it'll be my first video with a face cam, so that should be exciting. But yeah, the Super Bowl special will be the next time we really talk about these picks. So Ben, it's been a great season. Nothing more we can do for the Ghost Pepper. Are you nervous? Are you ready for this week? What's going through your head? And one more thing before we head out.
All I gotta say is, even though my team is terrible, both our teams missed the postseason, so that brings a smile to my face.
Yeah,
Have a good one, you guys.
As a Giants and Falcons fan,
had to get a little dig.
As a Giants fan and as you a Falcons fan, it's been a rough season, but
well, at least you had a chance at a postseason.
There's been some highs, there's been some lows, and ultimately can't speak right now. Ultimately, all ending in disappointment. But thank you, Ben, for being here all 17 weeks and through the postseason, and thank you everyone who has watched consistently throughout the series, all of the episodes. I do plan on bringing this back next season and bringing Ben back if he wants to come back. Probably have a different bet, of course, but
we'll see.
It's been fun, but. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the entire series up to this point. We got 2 episodes left to go. Have a great one. Peace.
See you guys.